The sun bleeds out from the sky, painting the quiet suburban street in shades of orange and deep purple. It's that time of day, dusk, when the world is supposed to slow down, when families gather inside. But tonight, a frantic energy cuts through the calm. A child is missing. We see a mother, her face etched with a fear I hope none of you ever have to know. Her husband is on the phone, his voice strained, repeating their son's description to the police for what feels like the 100th time. Friends and neighbors fan out, their flashlights cutting uselessly through the growing darkness. Every rustle of leaves, every distant car door slam sends a jolt of false hope through them. The search has been going on for hours. The initial hope has begun to curdle into a cold, heavy dread. The mother sinks onto the curb, her face buried in her hands. The father paces, a caged animal, his eyes scanning the same empty street over and over. They've checked the park, the woods behind the house, every neighbor's yard. He's just gone. How does a 6-year-old boy simply vanish from his own front yard in the 10 minutes it took to bring in the groceries? The question hangs in the air, unanswered and terrifying. The police have arrived, their presence both a comfort and a horrifying confirmation that this is real. This is not a drill. Their son is truly, frighteningly lost. Then, something small and quiet breaks the tense silence. A stray cat, a scruffy little tabby they've seen around the neighborhood, meows softly at the mother's feet. It rubs against her leg, purring. Normally, she might shoo it away, but tonight, in her despair, she just looks at it, her eyes vacant. The cat meows again, more insistently this time, and then turns, looking back at her as if to say, "Are you coming?" The father notices, a flicker of curiosity breaking through his panic. The cat takes a few steps, stops, and meows again, its gaze fixed on them. It's strange, almost deliberate. On a night where nothing makes sense, this small, bizarre interaction feels like something to hold on to. Against all logic, they follow. The cat leads them not down the street, but back towards their own house, right to the side where the old weathered basement door sits. It's a door they never use, always bolted from the inside. The cat paws at the base of the door, meowing louder now. The father's heart hammers in his chest. He jiggles the handle. It's locked, just as he thought. But then he notices that a small cellar window, just above the ground, is slightly ajar. A gap barely big enough for a small boy, or a cat. A desperate wild hope surges through him. He calls his son's name, his voice cracking. "Alex, Alex, are you in there?" Silence, then a faint, muffled sob from within. It's him. The relief is so powerful it nearly brings them to their knees. The father throws his shoulder against the old wooden door once, twice, and on the third try, the frame splinters and gives way. They rush into the dusty, dark space, and there he is, huddled in a corner behind an old furnace, crying silently as their son, Alex. He'd been playing hide-and-seek with the cat, slipped through the window, and the heavy door had slammed shut behind him, trapping him in the dark. They scoop him up into their arms, a tangle of tears and whispered assurances. He's safe. He's scared, but he's safe. The little tabby cat sits at the top of the stairs, watching the reunion, before quietly slipping away into the night. Its job done. A tiny, furry hero in the twilight. Thank you for watching. The sun was setting, painting the sky in shades of orange and purple. The streetlights flickered on, one by one, casting long shadows across our quiet suburban street. But for us, the beauty of the dusk was lost. A chilling silence had replaced the usual sounds of kids playing and neighbors chatting. Our hearts were pounding, a knot of pure terror tightening in our stomachs. Our little boy Leo was gone. We had searched everywhere, every room in the house, the backyard, the front yard, his favorite hiding spots under the bushes. We called his name until our voices were raw, the sound swallowed by the growing darkness. Panic was setting in, that cold, creeping dread that every parent fears. We started knocking on doors, our neighbors joining the search, their flashlight beams cutting through the twilight. The whole neighborhood was on alert, a small army of worried faces, but there was still no sign of him. Just as despair began to feel overwhelming, a flicker of movement caught my eye. It was Jasper, the neighborhood stray, a scruffy ginger cat we often left food out for. He was sitting on our porch, staring at us with an unusual intensity. He let out a distinct meow, not his usual plea for food, but something different, more insistent. He then turned and trotted down the porch steps, looking back over his shoulder as if to say, "Are you coming?" My husband and I exchanged a look. It was crazy, right, following a stray cat. But at that point we were desperate for any sign, any hope. We followed him. Jasper led us not towards the street or the park, but around the side of our own house, to the old, rickety basement door that was almost always kept locked. He stopped right in front of it and meowed again, louder this time, pawing at the wood. My heart skipped a beat. We rarely used that door. I fumbled with the rusty lock, my hands shaking so much I could barely turn the key. The door creaked open into a musty darkness. And then we heard it. A tiny, muffled sob. "Leo," I called out, my voice trembling. A small voice replied, "Mommy." We rushed down the steps, our phone flashlights cutting through the gloom. And there he was, tucked away behind some old boxes, his face streaked with tears, clutching his favorite teddy bear. He'd apparently found the door unlocked earlier and, in a game of hide-and-seek with himself, had accidentally gotten locked inside when the heavy door swung shut. The relief that washed over us was like a physical wave. We scooped him up, holding him so tight, showering his face with kisses. He was safe. He was just scared. As we held our son, I looked back towards the doorway. Jasper the cat was sitting at the top of the stairs, calmly grooming a paw, as if his job was done. He had led us right to him. That night, our little boy slept soundly between us, safe and warm. We never saw Jasper as just a stray again. He became our little guardian angel, the furry hero who brought our family back together. This story might sound like something from a movie, but it's our real life. It's a powerful reminder that sometimes help comes from the most unexpected places. If you enjoyed our story, please give this video a like and subscribe for more. Thanks for watching.